Hi guys, this is Vaughn, and after all the years of experience and research and blowing tons and tons of money on different things, lots of crappy books, lots of crappy stuff, lots of crappy, you name it, okay? Just water, pouring water down the drain. Like in this case, it's cash, just burning it, We find a cool book. So years ago, when I'm researching homeopathy, and when I first got into homeopathy, it was like, baby, I get you, I got it. It was just like, boom. I was like 19 when I read Hahnemann's, 18 or 19, Hahnemann's, not chronic disease. I think I read that like around that same time, but the oregano. And I love how he just basically talks shit for like the whole book against allopaths, just like goes on and on and on, and they deserve it. They do really deserve because of the practices that they were doing. But I love how it just goes, it just goes on and on. That's probably why he got kicked out from where they like literally like chased him out of town, right? So you get introduced to the concept of the miasm, and you get introduced to the concept of the nosode. So we find this book by Louis Klein, or Lou Klein, some people call him, called Miasms and Nosodes. Now, one of the interesting things about miasms that I find the most interesting is the miasm is like some kind of like a structural, like a ground state where different conditions can basically develop upon. So in homeopathy we have the sora, or basically the scabies state, where like things can grow on the body, you can get itch and this sort of thing. Basically the intestines are breaking down, the system's breaking down, the mind is broken down to a certain degree, and the process of degeneration is just kind of like going forward, okay? And then you get into the next level of degeneration, and then you get into the next. By the way, there's different ideas of how miasms kind of take place. Some people think it's just you're born with syphilitic miasm, or the psychotic miasm, which is the gonorrhea miasm, or you have syphilitic is syphilis. So, but and there's different ideas that you can acquire. It's an acquired thing, or it's just a ground state, or it's there's different miasms like tubercular or cancer miasm, and then Sankaran comes out with these 10 miasms, and other people there's more, and da 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 da. And in this book, he kind of like, Louis Klein basically talks about how every kind of disease is a type of miasm, essentially. Okay? And I'm kind of in that agreement system more so. It's kind of a real practical, not so much theoretical. The remedy picture matches, give them the remedy, That's it, it's not that complicated. So, and then he's got really interesting like breakdowns of these different nosodes. By the way, for people that don't know, which if you're watching these, probably at this point you know what a nosode probably is. Most likely know what it is. It is a remedy in homeopathic medicine made from a disease substance. So if it's carcinosin, which is the remedy, it'd be made from some kind of cancerous tissue. If it's syphilinum, it's made from syphilis. If it's tuberculinum, it's made from tuberculosis. This sort of thing. And so he has a really cool kind of clinical approach to setting things straight with miasms and everything, talking about the different remedies. But my take on miasms is quite simply this. It's basically the most broken down state of any kind of spiritual condition that you find in the mind. It's like the end product of it. Because when you look at, like, for example, syphilis, right? You don't just find syphilis laying around anywhere. It's not like on the windows. It's not like, even if you were just to smear syphilis somewhere, within a day or two, that thing's probably going to die, and it's over, Some things don't die out so easily. They have kind of adaptations. But most of these conditions, they're transferred from body to body. They're basically incubated in the human condition, okay? On a physical level, okay? And so someone can get syphilis but not even manifest it because their body doesn't allow that into the system. The immune system won't allow it. Other people, they're growing it actively and spreading it. Okay? So, but really it's a condition of the mind, ultimately. It has physical manifestations. But what's cool about this book, I mean, you have, for example, about 5 different families. I could be wrong about that because of how I've labeled this. I think it might be more. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. It's either like 6 or 7 different areas that he gets into. But like he adds a couple cool remedies that you never really see anywhere. Like most people don't talk about. You got tetanus. You know, leprosy. There's some stuff on leprosy, but Johneinum, I guess. It's basically like the colitis or what's that one? Is it colitis? Oh, Crohn's disease. I could be wrong about that. Let me kind of get there real quick. But you know, he adds that, he talks about that, and he might even done a proving of it, but I could be wrong about that. Let me see. No, I don't think he did the proving. But Crohn's-like disease or wasting disease in the intestines, basically tuberculosis of the intestines, right? He talks about other remedies too. That's another cool thing about this book. He talks about, for example, in like the hang on, there's a section on the plague. If I'm not mistaken. Hang on, 407. Yeah. So there's like a whole section on, it's called Yersinia miasm, which is basically the remedy made from plague, and he gets into a remedy called ratus, which is rat or rat blood, as a remedy. So it's not just purely like it must be a nosode so we can use it in this book. No, it's like he kind of talks about remedies that are in that same kind of group. They don't necessarily have to be like a nosode. By the way, the cover is just beautiful. It's like, yeah, baby. It's bound well. It's a nice, thick book. I forget how much. It's a $65 book. Just a beautiful, 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 beautiful book. Binding is wonderful. The type is clean, nice. Information is high quality. I mean, this is a 10. Definitely a 10. My other book that I really love that's about nosodes, I wouldn't say it's, in a lot of ways, it's a 10 too, but the information is really cool because it gives you that nice, rich take on some of these remedies. And I'm just gonna, Crohn is a condition that I think that you see and hear about a lot. By the way, this guy named Jordan Rubin, the owner of Garden of Life, it's a supplement company, had Crohn's disease, and he used bacteria to basically heal himself, and he looks great now. He looks very strong and healthy. So, there's other ways of handling these conditions, not just homeopathy, but homeopathy really gets to a deeper kind of quantum fabric level. Even though that's not necessarily a correct statement, because quantum physics doesn't really define phenomena inside the body. That science doesn't get into that. But I'm going to just kind of read you. I want to get into I'm not going to do plague. I'm going to do Crohn's because more people will probably be looking for Crohn's. Where are you? Where are you? Okay, here we go. 284. 284, baby. Get this book. Awesome. Okay, so Mycobacterium perituberculosis nosode. Wow. Okay. Commentary. Should I read the commentary? It's kind of long. Let me just kind of see which part I want to share with you guys because I don't really feel like getting into. I'll read a little bit from the commentary and I'll get into a little bit of that. Okay. Johneinum is a remedy made from a bacterium that has been implicated in Crohn's disease through conventional allopathic research. See, allopathy got some cool stuff going on there. The source notes explain this relationship. At the suggestion of a student named Latifa Weinman, who had traced Crohn's disease to this bacterium while doing a project for the Homeopathic Master Clinician course that I direct and teach. I decided to get the bacterium homeopathic plant and then prove the remedy. In 2002, I instituted a proving it, and I was the master prover, with a smaller than usual number of provers. The proving was an interesting experience, not because of the expected physical symptoms echoed in the proving, but because of the dynamic mind and dispositional symptoms brought up by the provers. In particular, one of them. Ooh, this is getting interesting. It's like, if I want to read this, then you probably want to know what this is. Okay, very interesting. This one prover, who was not Jewish and did not have much familiarity with the Jewish experience, felt as if she was in the Second World War. Jewish experience. A much higher percentage of Ashkenazic Jews have Crohn's disease than the general population. What follows is an expression by this prover in this regard. I got very despondent this evening. I told my husband and my friend that I believe we will soon be in World War III. It crossed my mind later that night that this is what it must have been like for Jews during Kristallnacht. I'm not sure. The night, Kristallnacht, I guess. The night of glass. After an incident with a window cleaner, window cleaner wanted to be paid and pounded on the door so much, I thought he was going to break it down and attack me. I guess that's her. Like, if that was in parentheses. Last night and tonight, I have locked the doors earlier, and even when I went out, I am making sure I have locked things, including the garage door. Usually I don't pay attention to these things, even when our husband has been away before. When I was walking the dog at lunch, and tonight I noticed several unmarked vans slowing down on our street or near our house, and one time I turned around to see, after he drove by, where he was stopping near the house, but he didn't stop. He just sped up and drove away. I felt like I was being watched. The idea of being persecuted and even feeling tortured or put upon is in the mind and disposition of this remedy. Some provers even temporarily felt or had dreams in which they were being held prisoner by someone they knew, or that the husbands were trying to murder them. One had a dream that they were walking with others to their death. Anyway, it goes on and on. And it's not like just that one remedy. He goes into the deeper element, the mental element of all these cool remedies. I mean, there's like 20 or so remedies in here. It's really cool. He's going to have another book. Man, I wish I was like a millionaire. I would just give him like money, just be like, look, man, just write the book. Don't worry about anything else. I'll take care of the bills. But, hey, go buy this book. Support this guy. It's awesome. You will be so, so happy to have gotten this book. There's lots of other remedies. You can check this book out there. It's a table of contents. I mean, anywhere from tuberculosis family to the Bach flower remedies. No, not Bach flower, I'm sorry, Bach bowel nosodes to parasitic toxoplasmosis. Big one, people with cats, right? Diphtheria, botulinum, tetanus, pertussis. Yeah, awesome.